though, so if you want videos, yeah, you're just going to have to wait until next week, because I don't think we have any more videos, and we're the last speakers today. Do we have a guest speaker today?
No guest.
No guest. So I get to be the guest speaker. Fantastic. So, and there's no pictures here. I have pictures later. I know this is the most words on my slides, but it's a very important quote. It came out this past year from the executive vice president of Samsung. He said, "We won't compromise profits for the sake of a bigger market share," which is very interesting, because before they mass produced things very cheaply. Even in the entry markets, which is China and India, our focus will be the premium segment. So they're going to lose out in some of these areas. In fact, this past year they lost a lot of market share in the cell phone industry. They were closing in on Motorola, but since China and India have gotten to be such a big market, they can't keep up, because Motorola and Nokia are producing very cheap phones for the low-end markets. But this is a very different shift. This is a completely change in direction from 15 years ago, when Samsung was producing cheap knockoff phones. So the history of change started in 1993, actually. Actually, let's do it here. First, Kyun-hee Lee is the CEO of Samsung, and in 1993 he wrote a book called "Change Begins with Me," and it said, "Change everything except your wife." And he stressed quantity. Well, at the time they were quantity over quality, but he stressed quality, and he told his employees that they needed to come to work 2 hours early, and they needed to be very focused. And in fact, 1996 was the year of design, but we already know that. And so the history actually started in 1993 when the CEO went to Los Angeles and saw blah, blah, blah. We already heard that. And they connected with IDEO, heard that, okay? But here's a good example of what happened. And I know you guys have heard this story because Haier copied them, Haier in China, and I'm sure you've all heard it because a lot of Chinese people have told me this story when I told them this story. But this happened first. In 1995, Samsung had just made their first CDMA cell phone, and they gave it to all their employees as gifts. But the problem was the phone didn't work. So the CEO got very angry, and what he did was he gathered all of the employees of the factory together in front of the factory, had them all wear red headbands that said quality. Then they took out all of the goods